Hello, everyone. Today I have a great pleasure to speak with Sherly Sulaiman, who is based in California, US. And Sherly, she is a clinical hypnotherapist and meditation teacher. Sherly, hi, it's great to have you, and thank you for joining our community.
Hi, Ed. Thank you for having me. It's lovely to be here.
So, we are all curious about our new members. So, can you share a little bit more about how you became clinical hypnotherapist at the first place, and what is your story?
There are lots of stories, but I'll start with the one that focuses on the clinical hypnotherapy. And they all can get, as I said to you when we chatted a bit, they can get a little bit woo woo, but I'm just going to tell you the true story without censorship. So, in terms of just my story ending up where I am, I had a challenging childhood with so many different things going on between parents, family, moving countries. My parents had a bitter divorce. I didn't see my mother for 18 years, from the age of 5 to 23, and there was a lot of isolation. My dad stayed in Indonesia. As a result, I developed what is known as reactive depression or situational depression when I was young, like from 9 years old or something like that. And life was really tough because of so many changes. Reactive depression is when you're depressed based on external factors. But one day, I was around 16. I was just on the school grounds. I wasn't doing anything different. I was just about to go into another depression, and something happened. It felt like nothing short of a spiritual awakening, honestly, because in that moment, if ever there was, I didn't hear voice audio, so it's not a voice of God, a voice of source, a voice from the universe, whatever label you want to use. But if ever there was a voice of God, that was one of the times that I heard it. And it's not audio, but it's with the whole of my being. And all it said was, you can do that, or you can choose differently. And I understood with the whole core of my being what it meant, that it doesn't matter what has happened before this moment, you can choose to respond differently to this moment, to life. And at 16, I just realized, okay, I had this freedom to choose always. And for the first time, I chose differently. I chose more happiness, more calmness. And from that moment onwards, my life has never been the same. It's not because I don't have my ups and downs, but I'm always aware of this freedom to choose that we all have. So that led me onto this path of alternative healing and spirituality, if you will, meditation, yoga, mindfulness, all of that. I studied whatever I could. I got my hands on every book I could, the retreats, the workshops, all of that. And I'm cutting, like there are a lot of things that happen, but that's when my journey really began with this. So this is my passion. I never dreamt that I could be doing something that I so love, that whatever I do now, like the books, the retreats, the workshops, whether I go to them or whether I facilitate them, it's my love and my profession. And I just feel so blessed with that. That's just a shortened version because there are so many stories within stories. I just want to start from the beginning, the major turning point.
What wakes up you in the morning?
Mm. What wakes me up in the morning? I feel life itself. From that point onwards, like I said, life was so different. And suddenly it's like a veil had been removed and everything looked brighter. And life can be so beautiful if only we open our eyes to it and our mind and our hearts. So that gets me up in the morning, just life itself and the gift of, honestly, the present moment. It's so easy to get caught up in so many different things. If at any time we actually stop, like even right now, Ed, to go, wow, this is so wonderful that we can do this, right? We can talk just like this, connect, talk about life and real things, whatever we want. And then we can share this globally with the world. That's just wonderful. I never lose my sense of awe, you know? That's what gets me up in the morning, and awe in life, I guess.
How do you helping your clients? And can you just give us idea who are your ideal clients and what kind of problems you are solving for them?
Ideal clients, I would say people that are open to it. And generally people are open to it. By the time they're in my chair or in my workshop or class or retreats, they have made the decision to make a change or grow or heal, to different levels. So that's all they need. Other than that, I help people with anxiety, depression, phobias, fears, to weight loss, stop smoking, past life regressions. I pretty much have helped people with so many things across the board. My specialized area is stress, depression, and anxiety because, well, my business is called New Stress Relief. So, and before that in Australia, my business was called the Depression Relief Clinic. And I chose those themes because, like I said, when I was younger, I had reactive depression. So I understand it very well. Just I can go there just like that. It's like being in the bottom of the well, but I've worked out the way out. So it's like I'm really reaching down in my hand, saying, okay, I know where you are, but I know the way out. Just take my hand and let's go. Kind of like that.
We just had a chat before the interview, and you told me that during this pandemic, that actually your business were not slowing down. Actually, it was opposite. So what happened exactly in the last 2-3 months for your business, and what kind of problems people are facing, and how you are helping them to overcome those problems?
Yes, like I said, my specialized area is stress, anxiety, and depression. As you can imagine, since this pandemic hit, there has been a lot of stress and anxiety and depression. It's in different phases. The depression has come more as it lasts longer. In the beginning, there was a lot of stress and anxiety. So people were panicked. Some people were panicked about the whole thing. And there was fear on all levels, physically, emotionally, mentally. People didn't understand it. Also, it triggers a lot of people's stuff, their sense of helplessness, their need to control, because this is something that you just cannot control. And I think when you reframe it and realize that this is actually a wonderful opportunity for learning and growing and healing, that's when it can become an interesting phase, right? Kind of like a cocoon phase, if you will, before you transform. Now, when you're home, which most of us are in
Most
lockdown,
of us, yeah.
all you got is yourself, your loved one, whoever, if you're lucky enough, whoever you're locked down with. And that in and of itself can bring about things. So anything that's beneath the surface is surfacing. There's nowhere to hide. The good, the bad, the ugly comes up. So people's stuff, in addition to the stress and anxiety, are coming up. All their stuff. They have nowhere to hide now. They cannot be distracted by life and the busyness and the noise. And in relationships, they're dealing with the relationship stuff now because it's just the two of them, or with the kids if they're there. So everything just got stirred pretty much. And then as we got to I don't know what it's like in Japan, but in LA, as you probably heard, it continues to extend. Los Angeles in particular, there's no date. They're letting some states open in California, some little areas. But Los Angeles County, they're pretty much saying, we don't know. Could be another 3 months after people have been in lockdown for 2 to 3 months. So that went into a new phase. People's spirits started to get affected, and then it started to become more a depression than the initial anxiety and stress. So one of the things I did was I did a free group counseling just to provide a space for people, because there was such a need and I just couldn't be there enough for everyone. So I thought, if I just do a group thing, then I can help a lot more people, in a short amount of time. So that was just being of service that way.
But if this situation of uncertainty actually takes longer, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, on the other side, because this is also a community for entrepreneurs and people who want to find solutions, not just focusing on the problem. And some people start to talk about this is also opportunity. Even everything is not clear, and we don't know how long it's going to take in Los Angeles. 1, 2, 3 months, this year, next year, who knows? And we cannot control that, obviously. How you are helping clients to find something they can find as a reference point, and they can start from there to build the new normal future. How that works?
Yes. So here's what happens when we feel stress. We feel the stimulus, We feel the physiological response of stress, which is the rapid heartbeat, sweaty palms, high blood pressure. It can affect our digestive system, all those kinds of things. The interesting thing is that stress can either be good stress or bad stress. Good stress is known as eustress, as in eustress, like from the Greek word euphoria, eustress. Bad stress is known as distress, distress. But the interesting thing is that it's exactly the same physiological response. It's only our brain that translates something as good stress, which happens when we're excited, when we're falling in love, when we're, doing positive things, new things, adventurous things.
I like to be in that kind of stress, yeah.
Yes, yes. We all like the good stress. That's fun. And that's important too. Because bad stress, the difference is our mind starts to translate this feeling as a threat. And then it goes into fight or flight and it just moves into bad stress. So this is key, because now if you know that it's actually just our mind that can translate from one to the other, and I then keep stressing that, I teach clients that at any time we can reframe a situation. You only need to remain present, aware, and awake, if you will. And you can start to notice what's going on within your body. Take a deep breath and realize, okay, this is the power of our mind, and we can shift. Right? We can shift. The more we believe in it, the greater the shift can be. And they can move it. So this situation is just the best opportunity to do this. Like I said, because there's nowhere to go. Right? So you have a lot of time to practice this and realize, wait, I'm going to shift this from bad stress to good stress, or from anxiety to excitement, because it's the same thing. Now that's really simplifying, because sometimes things trigger you and they're connected to childhood or things that happen in the formative years, things like that. And that ideally you do the work. What that means is you see a therapist, a healer, whatever it is that you align with that helps you clear it and heal it when it's deeper, when you can't do it yourself on the spot. Do what you can on your own on the spot. But if you can't, then do the work. That's just the message from your inner wisdom saying, there's something about this that you're not at peace with. Go and be at peace with it. Find a way. So again, if you realize that, then that doesn't become bad stress either, right? You just realize, oh, okay, I'm not at peace about something. Got to get myself aligned and at peace now. Got it. And then it starts to move from bad stress to a place of understanding. And then it feels better, maybe neutrality, and then maybe even higher up. Gratitude that you have enough awareness now to know this, right? And then you can work in increments.
And in the modern world, people actually connect anti-stress. I will go somewhere and I will have relaxation. I will enjoy the new nature. I will meet new people, and then I will be recover from my stress. But now, when we cannot do this, we cannot wait 1 year to go and to find something as a retreat. How you are helping clients right now, and how the two dimensions, because now we are talking about two dimensions over the screen. Have you seen any difference between actually physical retreat sessions and now in digital world? Like what kind of difference you observe? But at the end of the day, can you also provide that people can have the same experience in terms of that they feel much better and relaxed? Just give us idea, like in this digital world, can we do anti-stress same as before in a physical world?
So on many levels, yes. Because if you remember, whether you're outside with people or whether you do it digitally, what it comes down to is you. It's you. It's your space, right? That's it. So the digital world, if anything, just reminds you of this, because you don't have, again, the distractions, which are lovely, most invited distractions, when it comes to doing something you like. But when it comes to self-work, when you can just hone in and focus on your internal world, we can bring it to another level. So in terms of effectiveness, it is just as effective. In terms of fun factor, for people that like the social interaction, it's not going to be exactly the same, simply because it's impossible, right? lovely as these computers can be, and these virtual things can be, it's different. It's not another human being. So, you know, depending on where you're looking at. But healing wise and doing the work, absolutely. The digital, I do a lot of phone sessions where I don't even see people, people don't even see me. And I always did. That's why my work hasn't suffered a lot, because what used to be a third of my time, because I'd see people in the office, a third house call, a third phone sessions. Now it's all just phone session or Zoom or FaceTime. That's all, but it is as effective, because remember, it's you doing the work. It comes back to you. Yeah, not the others. They're all stimulating and catalyzing your ability to heal and grow. That sort of.
So what do you do this year? Can you just give us idea how people who are under the stress or who might feel that I need work on my stress and anxiety, how they can contact you? Do you have any launch or some program, master classes for the group work, individual work? Just give us idea for the people who are curious to know more about you.
Right now, I'm doing mainly the one-on-one because, like I said, it's been so full and busy. I think I mentioned when we chatted a bit, I provided a group counseling session.
Mhm.
So I am considering doing that again soon when I have time open up. A group counseling via Zoom, so it'll be virtual. And it was
Mhm.
just as effective when I did it. So I'm looking forward to that. And in terms of, yes, virtual retreats, workshops, I'm considering it. And talking about collaboration as we did. But right now, they can always just check my website and
Mhm.
see classes and things coming up, or they can follow me on social media. Thank you for asking. My website is my name, so I'm sure you tell them what my name is. SherlySulaiman.com. That's my website.
Sure, it's gonna be in the
Yeah,
in the
you'll give them
post.
all that
Yeah, yeah,
information. So
yeah.
they just keep up to date. And yeah, like I said, right now there's such an overwhelming number of the one-on-one client people that need me that way. I want to play. So I'm working with a lot of people in California, but also have clients in the East Coast, a lot of people actually around the world, still clients from Australia. I grew up in Sydney, Australia, thus my ambiguous, weird accent. Um, and they're still around. And then I have some clients that have never met me. They haven't even seen me. They just talk to me. They probably have no idea what I look like unless they search for me. In fact, one client, funny enough, was just talking, and his wife knew me first. She referred her husband to me. And they were once talking. She was laughing with me because she said, my husband has never met you. And he thinks, because you sound so wise and calm, that you're just this wise old Asian woman. Like, he has no idea who he's speaking to. And Shirley's just this voice, this wise voice on the other end that helps me. So, and I'm good with that. Yeah. However you need it, whatever you need to help you, and I'll meet you where you're at.
You are helping people during this crisis and before the crisis, and you said even that your business is actually growing, which is a good news for you. But maybe because of this circumstance, is also people are under the stress more than ever. How do you help yourself, or what do you do to re-energize yourself? Do you have your coach or trainer? So what do you do daily to help so many people out there with individual or master classes in a group? How actually you are practicing that, like, because we also have limited limitation in terms of you cannot travel either. So what do you do to keep that smile, to keep that positive energy, and to actually give your energy to others?
Great question. And I think an important one for practitioners in particular. And this is true. So, firstly, I find that as I help people and heal people, I actually help and heal myself. So there is that aspect of it, and it allows me to also be uplifted, which is a blessing. But other than that, there is also the maintenance. I meditate every day. I've been meditating every day now for more than 20 years. That's a practice. I don't even think about that. And sometimes I do deep breathing, yogic deep breathing. I do yoga on most days, not every day, but most days, just my own yoga, because I taught that as well in Australia for more than 15 years. And I teach meditation. And I love, the obvious thing is the meditation, but I honestly just love when I'm in a flow. I think flow is really important. And what that means is when I do something I love so much that there is no time, there's no time space reality, or perhaps, I don't know, more appropriately, you tap into the eternal now. It's just there. And that could be me being in nature, even though we can't go out much. We're not allowed to go to the beach and hiking trails. I have a backyard, thankfully. I'm very fortunate, but even that helps, to be with the tree, things like that. Again, anything that just gets me and allows me to be present, connecting with wonderful people like yourself and like-minded
Thank you.
people, friends, of course, and loved ones. It's, anything that puts a smile on my face and your face and their face, just life.
Thank you for sharing that. Shirley, can you share maybe just one piece of your usual session when you're working with your clients? Something, let's say, if people are now feel after this interview, obviously I feel much better than before the interview.
Good.
But
It worked already. So Ed, if you start to cluck like a chicken, don't worry. It's just a sign.
So
it'll go away eventually.
So how people who are like stressed out and they see it's coming, stressed out, and then they just start to think, oh, no, they just go deeper. What they can do immediately, if you can give us just one piece of your session to stop that negative mindset and actually change and find that flow, as you mentioned. For many people who don't know what that flow or find your peace, let's say, and you are enjoying what you're doing, you are not counting, you start to be like everything serve you. You don't feel that everything is against you. It's actually everything is for you. So how to do that shift? If you can just give us maybe some exercise.
So the main thing, there's one main advice to give, would be I would invite you to bring awareness to it. And what that means is one of the hardest things to do, just like in meditation or in life, is for people to think they have to not think, or they have to not feel that feeling. I have to not stress. I don't want to feel angry, all these things. And if you say that, if you try and suppress it, you actually make it worse. That's the last thing you want to do. Just like in meditation, if you think, I got to stop thinking, I have to not think, that doesn't help, right? You'll think a lot. Instead of doing that, just notice when you're doing it. Bring awareness to what you're doing. And then when you can do that, you realize you're not the thoughts, you're not the feelings, you're the one that's observing them, you see? And if you can make that distinction, then you can't be overwhelmed in the noise, because you're no longer part of the drama and the noise. You now have made that separation, that healthy non-attachment, to realize, wait a second, okay, I'm doing that again. I was about to go down that rabbit hole, but I'm aware now. Okay, so just like what happened when I was 16, I'm going to choose differently. When you have awareness, then you can choose differently. But if we're not aware, that's when we're just stuck in the drama and the noise, what they call the monkey mind. Right? So that would be my main piece of advice.
Thank you, Sherly, for sharing your beautiful story and how you're helping people. I think it's very, very important that we allow ourselves that we are stressed out, and that's something which is not serving us. It's a quality of life. It's a quality of your health. So sometimes you don't have to just take the medicine. Maybe there are some alternative way how you can find that, as we call flow, or if you don't like the word flow, something which you feel good about when you're doing things.
Yes.
Sherly, thank you so much. It's amazing to have you in our community.
Thank you so much for having me. That was fun.